Welcome to another episode of Alpha Intuition Podcast, where I'm here to help you become the CEO of your life. I'm your host, Keisha L. Blair, certified extreme execution coach, skilled trades champion, and technical trainer. You guys, this season, you already know I'm bringing you these leadership lessons from the field, where I'm going to have real stories and real tradespeople on this show to help you talk about and think about the mindset and growth. So today's guest, you guys, he is a rising voice in both the skilled trades and motivation. He is a first-year electrical apprentice with IBEW Local 474 right out of Chicago, and he is only 20 years old. But now he is stepping into the world of motivational speaking, using his story to show others what's possible when you mix access with ambition. He's young, focused, and undeniable, shining his light on opportunities, challenges, and mindsets that require building a life of impact from the ground up. His mission is to make skilled trades more visible and accessible to the next generation, and to prove that mindset, money, and purpose all begin with just one decision to get started. Alpha Intuition family, it is my pleasure to welcome my IBEW brother, Mr. Leshawn Sanders. Leshawn, how are you today?
I'm doing absolutely amazing today. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Hype me all the way up.
Hey, look, sometimes we got to do it. We don't do it, won't nobody else do it, right? All right, we're just going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, I'm so happy to have you here. I'm just going to jump right in, and I want you to tell me about your personal background and journey. Tell me about what made you want to become an apprentice, an electrical apprentice, at the young age of 19 years old.
So, where can I start my journey? My journey starts, I'm just start off with my level of exposure. So I was born in Chicago, Cook County Hospital, and I wasn't really exposed to the trades as much as I should have been growing up. So truly, I didn't even know it was something that was accessible to me. You know, schools, they push right now to go to college, right? So that was what my mindset was. My mindset was, okay, I'm gonna go to college, I'm gonna get a good job, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna be in a desk, I'm gonna be happy, right? But that all changed for me after my 8th grade year, where I went to Minnesota and I saw more of the skilled trades there. So these people were living on farms, they were working with their hands, and then they was coming to school, not in pickup trucks, but they was coming to school in Audis, they was coming to school in Teslas, right? And they didn't have the business suits on. They had on flannel and they had on a cowboy hat. So that was my first introduction to working with your hands and making money in a skilled trade. So after I came back to Chicago, my sophomore year, this was during COVID, I was wondering how I could best get into the skilled trades. I was wondering because that was when college started becoming in the back of my mind. It started to really be in the back of my mind. I really learned the value of working with my hands more. So thankfully, I went to Thornton Fractional North High School. And by the grace of God, my junior year, they started an IBEW affiliate program. So I was the first one to sign up. So my junior and my senior year, I was learning how to work with my hands. And I was pretty bad at it at first. I was a 16-year-old kid, so I learned how to work with my hands. I learned how to be on time. And that was something called, that was first period, right? So in regular school, you can be late and things like that. But my instructor, he was actually, he was a foreman, he was a journey, he was the whole 9 yards, right? Mm-hmm. We had school at 8:25, and if, as you know, as a fellow trades person, that's fairly late. You don't start at 8:25. So if you was coming to school late at 8:25, that's a problem. And he just pounded that into me, and he just pounded a lot of knowledge into me. And he taught me how to work on my hands. He taught me the skills that I would need to be able to do this job anywhere in the world. So after I graduated high school, I had finally decided on the skilled trades being my profession, because a lot of people don't know this. It's more than one way to get that degree. It's absolutely more than one way to get that degree. So the perks of the union, as you know, your fellow IBEW member, the perks of the union is, for my specific union, Local 134 in Chicago, they actually pay not only for you to go to school, but they're paying you while you're in school. And that is invaluable to me. Just recently, actually, I think it was 2 days ago, I just received something in the mail from the college that we're affiliated with, and it was actually a certificate. It was I completed my first year in college.
That's awesome.
And that's for free, completely nothing out of pocket, while you still have a skill that you can take with you anywhere in the world. So continuing right out of high school, we had an affiliate program with the IBEW. It was called Summer Solar. So with Summer
Mm,
Plus, it was a class that teaches you how to do solar, renewable energy. So I graduated in May of 2023. So I hit the ground running in August. I was on a $2.5 million solar job on top of a high school that I actually went to go. I was on the speech team. So I was in a high school that I spoke at. And now I'm on top of it
wow.
doing solar, $2.5 million solar job. And the perks of me doing that school for the first 2 years was a lot of other. I was there. I was called what you call a trainee. So I couldn't touch tools. I was just
Mm,
labor, right? Those other two guys I was working with, we was all right out of high school. They was coming late every day. They didn't have the same work ethic. They didn't, and I'm hitting the ground running. I mean, I'm actually knowing how to do solar because I took that training. I'm solar certified. So I was hitting the ground running. I knew how to do solar. I was showing up on time. I was working hard, and I was getting some good money for it. And you give an 18-year-old kid a check, and I remember the first check I ever got. First check I ever got, I was like, did y'all make a mistake? Is this all me? Like, no, buddy, that's all you. And I was like, oh my God, I made the right choice. And I brought that home to my mother, and she was like, yeah, you made the right choice. So that was pretty amazing. And from there, I just more so leaned into my purpose as well. I just leaned into my purpose, and I saw that there weren't a lot of young people in
mm-hmm.
trades that looked like me. So I went to a number of different job sites, and I was just a bit out of my element. So I went from an 18-year-old kid to now I'm talking a 40-year-old journeyman. And you have to learn how to be in a different bubble. You have to
Yeah.
learn how to be in a different environment. So that was one of the biggest adjustments that I had to face, just being in that different environment, being in an environment where you can't dap up. You better not dap up your foreman. You can't, yes sir, no sir. You have to have that
Mhm.
air of professionalism because you have a job to do and you're getting paid well for it. So,
Yeah. So, you mentioned about some things that you can do. So, I
mm.
know we talked about this before, but by changing the narrative in the skill trade. So let's talk about that. So just from your perspective, um, what do you what do you mean by that about changing the narrative in the skill trades?
So oftentimes people think the trades like we're just background characters or that's something that's not really attainable to you. Like you on the expressway, you drive right past the person that's in the bucket that's fixing the light poles, and you have that one track mind. You
Mhm.
just don't think that it's something accessible to you. So what I really want to do is I want to change that narrative and I want to break our barrier because I feel like it's more so of a exposure thing. Because even myself, like I said, I was a product of my environment as well. I didn't know that that was something attainable to me until someone told me. I thought I was going to be sitting at a desk for 40 something years, and that I couldn't have been more wrong. That wasn't my passion. That wasn't my purpose. So
Yeah.
I feel as though changing that narrative that is something that's not accessible to us. I feel that is what I mean when I say I want to provide that exposure. I want to provide that level of success to us because we can do it. We definitely can do it. And I did it right out of high school. So if they took this 18-year-old kid and made him an electrician, they can definitely take you and make you an electrician as well. So
Absolutely. And I feel the same thing. I try to bring exposure to women for the skilled trades. And I mean, not just electrical, but for carpentry, for ironwork, for welders, carpenters, bricklayers, masonry, so all kind of things, cement finishers. There's so many different skilled trades out there that I'm still learning about even exist, even with me being in for 30 years.
mhm.
And there's, right now there's over 500,000 open jobs for skilled trades. There's over, I believe, around like 100 different type of skilled trades that are out there for the
Mhm.
for the building trades, and a lot of people don't even realize it. That's like machine operators. You talk about people driving certain things to work. We have to train people on how to operate certain pieces of equipment that are out there on a construction site. That's a
Mhm.
whole craft all in itself. You got to get certified in each one of those. So some people don't even
Mhm.
realize you can still make good money just learning how to be a crane operator, learning how to operate just some of those heavy pieces of equipment that are out there on the construction sites.
So I was actually working on a job site where the elevator operator.
They make good money.
And he was just, what floor are you going to? What floor are you going to? What floor are you going to? I spoke to him one time. And I was like, hey, you know, I built up a good rapport with him because as a first year, I'm the one that's going all the way in the building. What you need, what you need, what you need, what you need. So I built up a good rapport with him. So he was like, I was like, man, how much are you, man? I was just curious. And he starts laughing. And when I say laughing, I mean, oh, you got that money laugh. He says, he told me, he was like, I just worked 70 hours and I netted 5 G's. Imagine whether as in a unit, we get paid every week. So you mean to tell me in 7 days you made $5,000? Are you kidding me? It's absolutely insane to me how much money you can make and how we just aren't exposed to it. We don't know that it's a possibility for us. So that was my wake up call. That was my affirmation that I made the right decision. So
yeah, and I think a lot of people don't even realize that, you know, first of all the different type of skill trades that are out there, and then just how lucrative being in the skilled trade industry is. You know, I mean, like I've told young people before, I've been making 6 figures for a long time. I remember the first time in a year that I got close to $100,000, and I think I made clear 98. But that was my goal. I was trying to make $100,000, and this is back in this is like 2000, I want to say 14. You know, and it was just because I was working overtime, and I was actually already in maintenance by this point. So you know, that was, and my big thing was that I wanted to make that much, but I wanted to make it on 40 hours because, you know, I was missing time with my children. I was doing all of these things. So it was very important to me that I found a profession to where I could make that much without having to work, you know, all this overtime, which is when I started, you know, pouring back into myself, making sure that when I got into maintenance, I got into leadership, I got into management, and I started teaching others about, hey, you can get in and you can definitely work all these hours and work a lot of overtime and make this money. But once you start trying to develop your mind and start trying to understand how you can use this as a stepping stone and not just a plateau, you can actually make just as much money by pouring into others. So that's something I'm passionate about now.
Yeah, and it's an extraordinary thing once you understand the power of a trade. I mean, AI cannot do my job.
Negative.
AI cannot do our job. They can't. They just physically can't. And you see a lot of these corporate jobs. Like I was just looking somewhere like Google just laid off thousands of people and they're institutionalizing AI now. A lot of these big corporations are now institutionalizing AI. AI is not getting into that attic. AI is not getting into that attic. You know, AI is not doing what I can do, what you can do. So it gives that level of job security. And especially, so I'm in Chicago, Local 134. Our package is so incredible because you have benefits, you have life insurance, you have a livable wage, no overtime. We make now 120K a year. No overtime. That's as a journeyman.
That's great. That's beautiful.
You get classes that you get to go back to school. You get to learn a different skill. So we have classes that are based on welding. We have classes that are based on, again, I said solar. We have classes that are based on motor controls. You only have to pay $25 for that specific class, and that can take you anywhere in the world. Yes. So if you want to go to California tomorrow, you want to take a 2-month vacation, California. You can work in California. You can sign those books and you can work while still making money, while still going to Disneyland. You can work in California, then come right back to Chicago. Hey, how y'all doing? Put me back on the books, and now you have a job there. Absolutely. Not every profession gives you that level of not only flexibility, but a living wage wherever you go in the world. So right now, what I try to do is I try to mentor these children, teach them the value of a skilled trade because we're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. The union has been around for almost 200 years, and it's not going anywhere. So Yep.
Yeah. So I want to ask you about, just access and awareness, and why do you believe the skilled trades need more visibility in our communities?
So I'm in Chicago, and truth be told, I'm my local, my jurisdiction is Cook County, and in Cook County, you got some good places, you got some bad places, and I've been in both. And your level of exposure dictates your level of success.
Mm-hmm.
So people treat me being 20 years old and a union electrician as something so remarkable, as something so extraordinary. And whenever I tell someone that, the reaction is like, oh my God, I don't want to be seen as extraordinary for that reason. I don't want to be seen as extraordinary because I had that level of exposure. I want to be the standard. I absolutely want to be the standard. So I was on these job sites where I didn't see anyone that really looked like me. So I would go home, I would go outside of my community, and where would I see people that are my exact age range that look exactly like me? I would see them at Walmart. I would see them at Amazon. I would see them just doing these things where $18 an hour seemed like the creme de la crop. And I'm like, well, I was making that as a trainee
Mm-hmm.
before I was even in the union, when I was just doing the regular construction work. That's not that shouldn't be seen as something that's so, oh, this is the best it's gonna get. This is the best it's gonna get. $50 an hour seems unattainable in our community, and that's a travesty. And
Yes.
then entrepreneurship is becoming more so of a thing in our community. We want to have clothing lines. We want to rap. Want to do all of this, and that's not a problem. That is absolutely not a problem. You can do that, but what you need to understand is you cannot do that working a less than average job. So you can't make $15 an hour. And also another thing is financial literacy, right? You're not even maximizing that $15 an hour. So now you have that lack of financial literacy, you have that lack of income, and you're still trying to create something that's, you're trying to create a clothing brand, you're trying to do this, trying to do that, but you don't have the necessary skills to be able to do it efficiently.
Absolutely.
So that's why I believe that the trades need more visibility, because I myself, I'm getting into motivational speaking as well, public speaking, and that's going to be my business. That's going to be what I do. And the job that I have right now provides me that solid foundation to be able to fail, because it's not gonna go right the first time. To mess up and try again, to mess up and try again, without wondering where I'm gonna lay my head at night. Without wondering, is this gonna feed myself? Without wondering, am I gonna be okay if this doesn't work out? I already have that security. I already have that solid foundation that gives me the room to perfect that craft. So
All right. So I'm glad you brought up motivational speaking. So I want to ask you about just what is your mindset and motivation that you had that made you just say, okay, I want to start getting on stages, or I want to start telling other people about what I've gone through, because for some people, that's a scary thing when you get into public speaking.
so truth be told, I've always been an advocate for exposure. Even before I knew that that was my purpose, there are little tidbits, there are little seeds that are planted that shows you your greater purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So, one example. So after I came from Minnesota and I was here my sophomore year, that was COVID. But then my junior year, we were in person, and I was in economics class. And I would look around and I wouldn't see anyone in tune with it. I wouldn't see it resonating with people. I wouldn't see it, people like they, no one cared. So I was like, what is a class that we all care about? What is a class that we all can cultivate and come together and try to make that something that we can use to take with us after high school? So I racked my brain about it. Entrepreneurship.
Mm.
We want to be entrepreneurs, but we don't have that solid foundation to do it effectively. We say we want to create the clothing brand, but we know nothing about manufacturer costs. We know nothing about profit margins. We don't know that stuff. So I advocated for a 21st century financial literacy program, and the superintendent She told me, okay, you think this is a need? We'll go promote it. I got 200 signatures the first day.
Nice.
And then the next day I went to go promote it. I got 400 signatures. And I brought this to her and I said, we need this. I used my voice.
That's it.
That was my first foray into application. That was my first foray into speaking. Using my voice. Your voice is strength. So I'm the type of person, when I see a problem, I can't stay idle. I can't just stay, oh well, someone else is gonna fix it. No. It's not your fault, but it's your responsibility. So I took it upon as my responsibility when I saw another problem. That being when I was on these job sites, where were my people? Where were my young people?
Mm-hmm.
Why is no one? It's like you see the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and you waiting for someone else to light. You don't see anybody else, but there's more than enough for you. So you want to give it to other people. You want to have, hey, this is how you do this. This is how you achieve everything that you want to achieve, because the passion is there. The passion is there. If I talk to someone about what a clothing brand they want to start, they can talk to me about it for an hour, about what they want to do, how they want to do it, how they want to start it. If you want to talk to someone about, they want to write, okay, this is the songs I'm going to put out, but you don't have that solid foundation. You don't have those fundamental skills to be able to do it effectively. So the reason I got into motivational public speaking was, for one, exposure. Now I'm just going to open your eyes to the trades. So that's one of my first presentations is, these are the trades. This is how they can help you. But also another problem that I saw was that you get into these rooms and oftentimes you're unprepared. When you go up to that foreman your first day, you will not come with a do-rag under your hard hat. You will not come without a belt on. You will not be sagging your pants on a job site wearing Jordans. You have to learn how to adapt to the environment that you're in. They might be okay somewhere else, but not here where you conduct your business and what pays you. So I saw another problem. We are grossly unprepared for these new environments that I just exposed you to. So I started doing workshops on first impressions, presentation skills, because not everyone's going to like you. What are you going to do when you got a disgruntled old journeyman talking to you crazy? You can't act how you would act out in these streets. You can't act how you would act in high school where there's no consequences, because they will P-roll you up out of there.
That's right.
You have to learn how to navigate not only this trade, but you have to learn how to navigate life. Because for those rooms that you want to be in, you cannot act like the environment that you were in. You cannot act how that, you just can't. You can't do it. Why? Because the consequences aren't the same. There is no detention. There is no in-school suspension. There is, oh, you're not playing by our rules. Yeah, you're not, yeah. No electrician, no money. Go back to figuring it out. And I don't want that for us. I want us to get it right the first time. I don't want us to have to touch that stove, because that is hot. That is a hot stove to touch. I don't want us to make those same mistakes.
Well, that is amazing. Now, my this third season that I'm in of Alpha Intuition is about leadership lessons that I've learned in the field. So I see you are really well on your way, learning a lot of lessons, even as a first-year apprentice. You mentioned about setting the standard. Mm-hmm. And as you were speaking, it reminded me of something. Dr. Eric Thomas, which is one of my mentors, ET, the hip hop preacher, what he says, not only set the standard, but you become the standard. Mm-hmm. So, and that's what I see you doing, is you have become the standard so that other people can use you as the example of what they need to do once they get to where you are. So, even then, you're very welcome. And even being a first year apprentice, you've already been in this craft for a couple of years. But let's talk about just some of the lessons that you've learned about leadership since you ventured off into the electrical realm.
So as an apprentice, there are a lot of transferable lessons that you learn that can take with you throughout life, to take you throughout anything else that you're doing. So the first one I learned is to be proactive, right? So they say anticipate your journeyman's needs, and I'm sure you know this, right?
Oh, yeah.
If your journeyman is on a ladder and he's wiring up something, he's gonna need some wire strippers or some clients. Before he does the couple pat in his back pocket, here you go.
Wire nuts already in hand.
wire nuts already in hand. But that's a transferable skill that teaches you to be prepared for what comes next.
Right.
Be 3 steps ahead. Your work ethic. Now, I was 18 years old when I got started. Waking up at 4:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, when you hey, and I'm on the south side. So if you got to drive to Evanston or you got to drive to, you got to drive far, you have to do what you have to do. But that teaches you discipline. You might see some of your friends and this is what I saw. Some of my friends was partying to the,
You wasn't even getting in until 4:30, and you getting up, getting ready to go to work.
I'm getting up and I'm ready to go to work. But that put me in a better position than them. So you have to learn that there are certain sacrifices that you have to make for your future. That's another thing I learned as an apprentice. And you have to learn conflict resolution skills. That is one of the most important things that I really want to write home about, because in my environment, man, you grew up in Chicago, South Side, right? If someone talks to you crazy, you automatically want to fight. You automatically want to, rada. You can't, no. Because some of these journeymen don't have the same level of emotional intelligence that you have. But you have to know how to deal with that, right? What do you do when someone calls you that stupid kid, that stupid apprentice or something like that, right? When someone blatantly says something to you in your face, are you going to fight? Are you going to lose your job? Because one thing they go do, they go talk at the game box to somebody like, oh, that kid was good, but he just didn't know how to handle himself. He didn't know how to, no. I will not be a game box discussion.
And look,
and y'all forget about me and continue making y'all money, feeding y'all wives and feeding y'all kids.
Yeah, and that journeyman circuit is fast. I don't know if you heard about that, but that news travels fast on that journeyman circuit. They be blackballed at other sites, at other unions, to where they see you coming, you will not be going out to work.
You will not be around. You will not be working.
Very true. Very true. Because there's no HR on a construction site.
It's not. So you have to learn how to navigate that. Or you will not have a job. But again, that is a skill that you can transfer with you anywhere you go. You're not going to like everybody.
Everybody's not going to like you.
Everybody's not going to like you. I know I can be a lot in the morning. I'm coming in the morning. Hey, how y'all doing? Come on, y'all. I'm ready to work. I'm ready to go. Not everybody likes that.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody that's been doing this for 20-something years, why is this kid so happy? Why is this kid, not everyone likes that. But you have to learn how to deal with them as well. Because for every 3 bad people, there will be a good one that sees your light.
Absolutely.
My mentor, Christopher C. Avon. I met him on the job site. And he is my life mentor now. And I met so many good people. I've met some of the best people in the world that I can call my friends. I met my lifelong friend, my best friend, Lorenzo. I met him on the job. I know I didn't meet him on the job site. I met him in first year school. So for every couple bad eggs, you get some really good ones. And they're going to see your light. And you don't even want to give your energy to someone who doesn't see you. You don't even want to give your energy to someone who would demean you or who would make it so that you're not able to do anything that you want to do in your life. So those conflict resolution skills as well is something I really do believe are important to learn for anyone coming from an environment that's not this. I wasn't raised in this. My father was an electrician. His father, I don't have that. I'm the first one in my family. I'm the first one in my environment to do this. So I didn't have those. No one told me. So now I find it my duty to tell others that someone else didn't tell me, because I know y'all probably don't have anyone that did something worth me in y'all family either. So y'all won't know, but y'all won't handle it the same way I did. Y'all might, oh man, what he called me, I got to give my respect. I got to get this, I got to get that. Man, look, respect don't mean nothing when you sitting at home.
That's right.
So yeah, you got your respect. You the man, you the big man, but you're broke. And you respect. So
I'm gonna have to honestly say one of the leadership lessons that I learned in the field, that it's not about what they say, it's about how you respond. So you don't have to respond to everything. You don't have to respond negatively. I know you've heard this analogy before where they talk about the thermostat and the thermometer. you know, you don't have to just temperature match. You need to regulate that temperature. Cause the other person to regulate and to change how they're showing up on the job site by how you show up for yourself and show up to them.
Yeah, you kill them with kindness. Killing with kindness is something I feel is one of the most important things you can do. Kill them with kindness. If you keep showing them, hey, what you're saying is they're eventually someone's gonna get tired, and
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna continue making your money. Don't let a temporary problem have a permanent outcome.
That's right. That is very, very true. But look, you said something about we call them the old heads, right? The 20 plus and year journeymans that you got out there on the job sites. So just from what you're saying, are the apprentices that are coming up now, are you guys active on social media? Because I can guarantee you, I got a lot of my journeyman friends who don't even like getting on social media, period. And I'm like, how are we going to spread awareness? And I know it's by word of mouth, but how you talked about just changing that narrative. We got to get out here and we got to spread the word. And the up and coming people that are your age, y'all on social media. So that's why I'm trying to promote it. That's why I have my podcast. That's why I have, I'm Keisha the Electrician. So when they see that, they already know what I'm about.
Mm-hmm. That's how I found you.
Exactly.
I would say yes, we are more active.
Good.
But I feel as though the reason that we are active needs to be different. So, okay, you broke that barrier. Congratulations. You're an electrician, right? And now you posting what you're doing, you posting your work. But when someone asks you how they can do this, you don't want to text them back. So you just want to show your success, but you don't want to help others achieve that same success. So me personally, I post a lot of things that I do, right? But I'm also in the neighborhood. So whenever I go to the store, I see somebody working a little hard. What? Come here, scan this QR code, scan my business card. Send me a text. I'm gonna tell you everything you need to know about how to get to the next level. So yes, we are active, but I feel like instead of flexing our success and having that mindset of, oh yeah, I made it, I'm gonna show everybody, I'm a gatekeep. What you gatekeeping for? Just as much you wanted as someone else wanted too.
There's money out here for everybody.
There's money out here for everybody.
It's enough construction work to go around for everybody.
Come on now. Come on. And I'm like I said, I will tell anybody who wants to know, all you have to do is show effort. You show that effort, I will match that effort. That is the only temperature that I will match. It's effort.
So you are the future of the skilled trades. Because like I say, I'm 51. So I ain't trying to be out there like that no more. Like, yes, my name is Keisha the Electrician. I am a licensed journeyman wireman electrician. However, if you say, can you come to my house? Hold up now. I got somebody I can refer you to, because I'm trying to pass that torch to youngins like you, so you can get out here and keep running with it, right? So what do you see as far as the future of the skilled trades for the next generation?
So that's a really good question. You gotta make me sit up for that one. I see the future of the skilled trades being bright. So with all this new infrastructure that's being put up, with
just solar,
solar,
goodness, EV, electrical vehicles.
We have EV classes. So with all the new infrastructure, with EV, with solar, the future is bright. It's brighter than ever. Get this money. We need you.
Right. That's right.
Our scale will never go down. It will continue to go up. It will continue to match inflation. We match inflation to the best of our ability. You're not getting a 50-cent raise with us. I promise you. We match inflation. You will have work. You can do this anywhere in the world. International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers.
That's right.
That first word, that first letter in IBEW is I, and that I stand for international. That is power. You don't have to submit another resume. One thing they told us when I went through apprenticeship school is that you will never have to submit another resume again. That is power. I can go to California, New York, Wyoming, Montana, Rhode Island, New Jersey, Puerto Rico, Canada. I want to try some maple syrup from Canada. You know, I want to go to California. I want to go to New York. I ain't never seen the Big Apple. There are things that I want to do that this job will allow me to do. So the future of the skilled trades is bright, and we need to see more young people in it. We need to see more young people choose it. So
That's right.
that's
Yeah,
it.
and I try to tell people, look, if you are on your way to college, there is nothing wrong with that. My son, who's 18, he just registered at Clark Atlanta. Or nothing but God, right? So he's going to Clark Atlanta. He wants to get into fashion design and business. Nothing wrong with that. Follow your dreams. But if you are, my oldest son, he's in the military. He's in the Air Force. My daughter's working on her PhD for University of Memphis, getting ready to go. I'm not sure where she's going, back somewhere. But then I have my other son. He's an artist. He produces music. He makes his own music. So the thing is, whatever your dream is, learn how to fund your dream. Learn how to follow your dream. College is not for everybody. Skilled trades is not for everybody. The military is not for everybody. But find a lane that works for you and run with it. Be the best that you can be. Like you said, set the standard. Become the standard. Make sure that you execute until you get to where you want to be.
Mm-hmm. That's the most important thing. And whatever you choose, all I'm saying is whatever you choose, I just hope you have the adequate exposure to make the right choice. So when you look back and whatever that choice you made was good or bad, the reason that you made it was not because you did not know about it. That's what I want. I just want you to have enough exposure to be able to say, if you didn't want to do this, that was an option there for you. That is all I want. That is the absolute dream. That is the creme de la creme of my life. If I can give that exposure, I'm a happy man. I am a happy man.
And then what I also want people to know too is that, when you get into skilled trades, you're not alone. There are resources and programs out here. That's why I try to make myself visible and make myself available, just like you're doing. When you get in there as a first year apprentice, there are going to be some bumps along the way. There are going to be some times to where you feel like you do not want to continue. I've had people tell me I should have been a physical therapist. I don't even like blood like that. You know what I mean? But you want to tell me stuff like that, or I should have been a nurse. Absolutely not. My kids, they got to fix their own cuts. It's like, I knew that the electrical field was for me. And even though I stopped, I went back. I kept stopping, starting until I finished. And it was very, very important for me to finish. So I try to be that resource for people to where they know that I'm out here, and like I talk about my book, Don't Stop, Keep Climbing. It's Alpha Intuition, Don't Stop, Keep Climbing. But that's a mantra that I had to tell myself, because plenty of people are going to tell you to stop, that you can't do it, that you can't make it. The only person that can tell you that you can't do something is you. So I tell everybody, just don't stop, keep climbing.
A person who said they can do it and a person that said they can't do it, they both right.
They're both right.
It's all about your mindset.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Sanders, I want to ask you a question. All right, my next question for you is, so what type of upcoming events do you have? I know you got a bright future, young man. So tell me about what you got. I feel old saying that, young man. Let me say, clutching my own pearls. But let's talk about some of your upcoming projects and events that you have.
So I plan on partnering with a lot of different schools in the Chicagoland area to, like I said, these workshops, right? So I found my new purpose and passion as a motivational public speaker. So the most important thing I want to do is upgrade our level of exposure. So I'm going to all these CPS schools. Look out for me, because I'm going to be there. I'm going to all these CPS schools, every suburban school in the Chicagoland area, surrounding areas, and I am speaking. I am spreading that awareness. I am using my voice to let you know that there is something else out there for you. And not only am I doing that, but I'm giving you the skills to be able to go out there and hit the ground running, to be able to do that effectively. So I'm teaching first impressions. I'm teaching interpersonal communication. I'm teaching conflict resolution skills. And once you master that, well, we go into personal finance, because not only am I going to teach you how to where to get the money, I'm going to teach you how to stay with the money, how to have those skills, to not let nothing shake your money, not let nothing affect your hustle. And not only that, I'm going to teach you how to manage the money. So I'm doing soft skills, I'm doing exposure, and I'm doing financial literacy. And I'm trying to hit every single CPS school. My goal is to reach 10,000 kids by the end of this year. So I hit that goal, I'm a happy man.
So now I don't know. Did I tell you about Terry Kauser? She has the credit. She's the credit expert.
Yeah, you told me about her.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay. I just want to make sure you're talking about finance. She's everything finance. She is, if you don't follow her online, make sure you follow her. I am in her community. I'm a wealth warrior for her community. And she talks about how to get your business credit, your personal credit, how to get all that stuff straight. So there's definitely somebody, like I say, shout out. She's my sister, Miss Terry Kauser. She is phenomenal in the financial space. And what I say is, coaches, we all have to have coaches. Even as a coach, even as a speaker, I have coaches and I have speakers that I listen to, that I follow, because I got to make sure that I keep my knowledge up so that I can share with other people that I coach and I counsel. So yes, if you hadn't started following her, you make sure you get on there and start following her, because she's going to get you right.
That is amazing. That level of exposure, that's what it's all about. We need to find people who teach us things. I myself have a number of mentors who I look to for counsel and guidance. I know it is imperative. So I'm 20 years old. I just turned 22 months ago. I don't know a lot about a lot yet.
Let me tell you this. You're going to be a beast. You're probably going to be retired. You're going to be, probably going to even have your own school by then. We're going to speak whatever you want to
say. Come on, speak that into existence now.
Speak it.
That into existence, man. Come on.
I know we tapped on this a little bit, but just, let's just talk about what's next for you. So where do you see yourself doing? What do you see yourself doing after apprenticeship school?
So I got 4 more years in my apprenticeship. I'll be 24 years old. So I'll be a 24-year-old journeyman. Let me shake your head.
Hey, man, you're 24 and already a journey, but that's what I'm talking about.
Yes, ma'am. So hopefully in these, next 4 to 5 years, I would still be motivational speaking. So getting better at that, trying to do the best of my ability with that, networking more. And honestly, I hope to try to do that full time. Honestly, I really want to spread my word. Hopefully by then I have enough exposure and I have enough influence to be able to do that full time. I'm joining the Next Level Speakers Academy. I'm very excited about that. Yes, ma'am. I'm joining the Next Level Speakers Academy. So hopefully I get to learn from your mentors, E.T., Jeremy Anderson, so Kevin Ferguson. Those are really big names. I want to link up with.
Shout out real quick to Kevin Ferguson, who is the president of the Next Level Speakers Academy Chicago chapter. He just won the Brian L. Thompson, one of the most prestigious awards that they could give away. He won that. He earned that. He didn't win. He earned it. So you are in good hands in that Chicago chapter, Next Level Speakers Academy.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I hope to link up with Jamal King soon, the 9 to 5 millionaire. I'm gonna shout out to him. I'm gonna keep manifesting that meetup.
Yes, let me see if I got my book over here. I do. Hold on 1 second. Gotta reach back on my shelf for all my books. Lord, I'm dropping stuff.
There we go.
In there, Jamal King. Yes. Brother,
I'm gonna keep manifesting that meetup. I feel like me and him could be a real powerhouse. So
just keep showing up. He'll show up. You'll see him. You'll be speaking that into existence.
I just plan on networking. So when you look at this podcast in 5 years, when Keisha the Electrician has and y'all gonna say, who is this fella? And y'all are gonna see I'm speaking everything into existence. I will, and I will master this. So
you missed that there. I can, I will, I must. That's it. I can, I will, I must. That's it. That's all right. I know when you get in next level, when you get in, you're gonna learn all the languages, you're gonna learn all the markets. I can, I will, I must. That's him. Jeremy Anderson's phrase is always grateful, never settle.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yes. Always we gotta stay grateful, but we don't settle. We just keep climbing. We're gonna keep doing it. So, and then you'll meet Kevin Ferguson. His is always he's Mr. Great Day. Why? Because it's always, every day is a great day. So,
there we go.
Yes.
There we go.
All right. So my last question I have, you had such a phenomenal talk, but my last question for you is, my show is titled Alpha Intuition. So I like to ask all my guests, when you hear that title, that phrase, Alpha Intuition, what does it mean to you?
So Alpha Intuition, and that's a title that really does resonate with me. So when we were talking about it, and I was like, Alpha Intuition, that's like a raw name, because you have more so a dominant first part of that name, and then you have that smartness, right? So how that relates to me is, I feel like firstly taking alpha, right? So taking dominance of that situation, but also having that intellect to know what part of that situation that you need to take control over. So as I said, I had the intuition to see that there was something different that needed to be done about the school system, right? I said, oh, no. This economics class, this ain't it, right? So that alpha in me, that spirit in me, that dominance in me, took control of that situation to change that situation. So that is what alpha intuition means to me, is having the intellect to be able to change your situation.
Yes, I love it. Thank you so much for that. It always enlightens me to hear other people's interpretation of what that actually means. It's like, okay, that makes me know I'm doing something right if I got these people out here. All right, phenomenal. Well, you know what? This has been a great show. But I said that was my final question, but I do have one more question for you. For the young people that are out there that feel like, like you said, you see them working at Walmart, you see them working at Amazon, you see them working at all these other places to where they're making minimum wage. What's one thing that you want to say to them?
Cultivate that spirit. There is a warrior in you that is itching to come out, that knows that they shouldn't settle for their current situation. So just keep fighting. When I tell you, when I was in, this environment I was in, I just felt like a caged animal. I promise you, I felt like a caged animal. I knew that there was a way. I didn't necessarily know what that way was, but I know we all know that there's a better way. So we just have to find that way. So look up, if I don't care if you Google best jobs to have in the next 20 years, right? You're going to see something about the trade. You're going to see something that can help better your situation, right? We on TikTok, like TikTok different things. Just start trying to up your level of exposure, because that spirit will eventually be cultivated by what you see. So just keep fighting, keep pushing, and just keep doing your research. You go find something that resonates with you.
Awesome. All right, you guys. I have his information scrolling across the bottom of the screen. But for the ones that are listening, Leshawn, why don't you tell them how to find you on social media?
Please follow me on LinkedIn at Leshawn Sanders, on Instagram at Shawn the Undeniable. That's Shawn, SHAWN, the Undeniable. None of that SEAN stuff over there. And please follow me. And please follow me on Facebook at Leshawn Sanders. So thank you. I hope to talk to you guys soon.
All right. Well, you guys, look, if you are looking for someone to come in and to motivate your students in the CTE space, in the vocational space, in the skilled trade space, you have found the right one. Mr. Leshawn Sanders is going to be able to come in and connect with your students like no other can. So you already heard him. He is passionate about coming in these schools and speaking to students. So you guys make sure that you get online, find him on social media, and bring him in so that he can get these kids in these skilled trades, because you already know we are leaders by nature. Look, when something breaks or something needs to be added, they all over skilled trades. Let's get the people in there so they'll have somebody to show up when you guys need somebody to, okay? All right. All right. Well, Social Alpha Intuition family, it has been a pleasure once again. You guys already know I love hearing from you and I love listening to you. So please make sure that you leave me a comment. If Leshawn has said anything that resonated with you, make sure that you drop it in the comments and we'll try to get those questions answered for you. Yes. And make sure that you I didn't tell you this on the beginning, but make sure that you guys make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can get notified when the new episode drops, which is usually every Saturday morning at 6 a.m. Now, I have two things that I want to leave you guys with. The first one is, that you guys have to keep that energy. The second one is, don't stop, keep climbing. Until next time, you guys, peace.